So here we are, the very last day of class, technically. The exams start tomorrow on April the 30th, and so we need to talk about doing yours. It will be just like the midterm. Same rules apply. You have to have Respondus Lockdown Browser, have to um, use only your textbook and the things that I've assigned in the class, Harari, Frankopan, etc. Those are all the things you can use, and you will be checked through Turnitin. No AI is allowed at all. So if the Turnitin report comes up to me with an AI feature, it's not going to be good for you. So where we stand on this then is that as with the midterm, you'll have 3 long answer, 4 short answer questions to do. They're all essay. One of the long answers will be required, one of the short answers will be required, but the other 2 and 3 will come from ones that you may choose. You may pick the one you want to do. There's also extra credit on it, just as there was with the first one, or with the midterm, so that you can make points that way. I encourage you to read all the way through the exam before you start answering anything. And then to answer the ones that you can do quickest, the ones that you're most familiar with, to get those out of the way. Citation is required, and as with the midterm, it can be in the form of author page number. Now, if you are wise, you'll spend some time reviewing the sources and making notes on them. If you want to use notes, all I ask is that you let me see them. So write them down or type them up, do whatever you want to do. My suggestion would be review all the secondary materials we've read, Frankopan, Harari, etc., and just jot down notes on each of the chapters with a page number beside it. That way, all you've got to do is review your notes and then throw that in there. But again, I would like to see those before you take the exam so that I know basically what I'm looking at and what kind of notes you have. The best review for this is to do the extra credit thing that I set up for this, where you go through each of the discussions each week and talk about historiography. There will be questions about historiography. There will be questions about bias. There will be, again, all the same ideas that we've talked about throughout the course. So nothing here will be new to you. It might be more refined in the sense of more focused on a specific area or interest, but for the most part, this is going to be just as it was going into the midterm. All right, so with that in mind, you will find it, as always, under the quiz function in our course. You're going to come down here, and it is going to be final, requires Respondus Lockdown Browser. It's going to tell you that it is due by the 5th. I encourage you to do it earlier because that way, once I get it graded, if there are problems with your grade, if there are things that you would prefer um, to try to get your grade up, you can come to me with that proposal, but the later you leave it, the less time we'll have to worry about it or to work with it. So, um, as before, you only have the one shot. So be sure that when you allocate time for it, you allocate 3 hours in one sitting. And once you're in, depending on when you're doing it, if you have problems, I may not be available to help you. The Respondus people have technical support and help. You can go to them and see, but if there's something specifically wrong, if there's something wrong with your computer or if there's an internet problem, then you're going to need to get in touch with me as quickly as you can so that I can either cancel your first attempt and try to reset a second one. And the later you leave it, the harder it's going to be for me to be able to do that. All right, so the same as always, 3 long answers worth 20, 4 short answers worth 10, 2 extra credit worth up to 10 points each. Citation, again, mandatory. No quotes. And I'm not doing this to be a pain in the butt. I'm doing this because I think that it is more time efficient for time efficient for you not to quote. It takes too long to actually type things down. As before, you're going to access your textbook and Frankopan and Harari off of tablets or devices other than the device you're taking the test on, because the test, once you're in Respondus, is not going to let you move around. You can't bounce back and forth between other things. So I encourage you to either access the other sources via your smartphone or via another tablet, right? All right. And again, there you go. That's the way it's structured. I'm not going to show you the questions. I'm not going to give you that advantage at the moment, but bear in mind that hopefully you'll have some extra credit off of the other thing that you're submitting to me by today. All right, so if you have questions about the final, email me and ask me. Again, I encourage you to take it reasonably soon so that, again, if there are any problems or any issues, we can work with them and get them sorted out before the last day, because I won't have time on the last day to be worried about anything other than grading and getting those final grades in, because final grades are due soon after the shutoff for the exams themselves. Okay, again, if you have any questions, email me.